I'm a wee bit nervous, you know that. It feels weird being back in this environment. Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Yes, let me just address the first thing straight off the bat. Let's get the elephant out of the room. I don't quite sound the same. Literally, this is much better than it's been the last couple of days. I tried to live stream yesterday. You would have been laughing incredibly hard because I had lost my voice completely. It is slowly and surely coming back to me. It sounds like I've been smoking about 80 a day. Look, listen, I might have had a wee cheeky amount of gold here and there over in Spain, but I certainly wasn't on 80 a day. And the voice has just gone completely MAGA. Has changed here. It feels like it. Listen, what a week. I'm happy to be back on the channel. I'm not necessarily happy to be back. I had the time of my life. Brilliant week. A really good break. I feel like I needed it. You know, maybe I timed it wrong with the season being on and all this news coming out about Sead HAKŠABANOVIC and everything else, but I feel like I needed it. It was a nice break. It was good to get away. You know, as weird as it sounds, right? My phone getting stolen, I feel like was just a blessing in disguise. I need to go and get a new phone today. Oh, is there still the background music on? Thank you for letting me know. Thank you. I hope you can hear me all right. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Could you hear me through all of that? It feels weird to say, but I feel like my phone getting stolen was like a little bit of a blessing in disguise. It was nice being out of the loop for a week. It was nice just, I feel like it was like, no Ryan, you're not making any videos, you're not doing anything, you're getting, your head's getting taken out of the game for a week. It was actually quite soothing. It was actually quite nice. But I'm back now, we're back to business. We've got to get back into talking about Celtic, and we've got a lot to catch up on this Saturday afternoon. Listen, I've been in the dark. You guys in the comments section are going to be my guiding light for today. We're going to try and have a lot of a discussion. We're going to try and talk about a lot of things that I have missed, and obviously we're going to preview that Hearts game tomorrow as well. But yeah, it was weird coming back and having to try and catch up with everything that I've missed and trying to see what's been happening, especially when you're just sort of in the dark about everything. So yeah, let's get to talk about Celtic. Let's have some fun today. Let's have some discussion, and let's have just a laugh. You know, let's just have a laugh. So let's start with the main story that I missed during the week, which is something that I feel like I should never have had to miss. If you've been watching this channel long enough, my dreams are coming true. Hence the title of today's live stream. You know what I mean? Sead HAKŠABANOVIC looks to be ever so close to joining Celtic Football Club. 2017 version of Ryan 118 is currently running around Celtic Park streaking at Sead HAKŠABANOVIC joining the club. This is something I never thought I'd ever see happen. Something I've manifested since, you know, the early days of this channel. And over the past week since I've been away, it looks as though he's going to be joining Celtic very, very soon from Rubin Kazan after what was an up and down story. It was one that we spoke about just before I went away. It was one that looked as though it was dead in the water. It was then revived, and now it's looking like he could be joining very, very shortly. Some outlets were reporting things about medicals. Wouldn't read too much into that, right, by the way, because the sources weren't exactly great. But according to the Record and some of their recent reports, HAKŠABANOVIC is set to snub 4 other clubs to push through his transfer to Celtic, and Celtic will get him at a cut price as well. Of course, Rubin Kazan paid £5.5 million for Sead HAKŠABANOVIC. Quite a decent fee, quite a hefty fee for a club over in Russia and Rubin Kazan. But obviously, they can't recoup that. They're not going to make back £5.5 million when they're in the situation that they are. They are forced to sell up. They're going to have to watch him go. He wants to go. And they're not going to get £5.5 million. So Celtic, apparently, reportedly, are not going to be paying anywhere near the £5.5 million that Rubin Kazan paid for him a couple of years ago. So, do you know what? This is one that Celtic have to push for. This is one Celtic have to get done. And it looks as though it will be happening. This is a guy who, you know, he got his move to West Ham a couple of years ago. He looked certainly in for big things. And then it just never worked out. You know, you're at a club like West Ham who have all of this money, this potential, this, you know, resource behind them that, you know, if you're a young Montenegrin player coming in, it's always going to be hard to push yourself into that team. You look at the players, you know, he's been playing predominantly in the left wing throughout his career. He can also play as an attacking midfielder, which I believe for Celtic will probably be one of his main roles. But you look over the course of his career and you look at the players who have also been in those roles at West Ham, it was really difficult for him to push in, and hence the reason that he ended up being moved on from West Ham. He ended up going to Rubin Kazan, obviously, then ended up spending time on loan at Norrköping in Sweden. He's also been around the block. He needs a settled place, and I feel like this. Now, this is the one thing I'm not going to have this regular maths debater. Yes, I would have 82.0. We're not manifesting that. Listen, just because he's coming from West Ham, just because he could have been something and then West Ham bottled it. This is not the case with HAKŠABANOVIC. Okay, we're not having that, because this is something I have been waiting for such a long time. Let's get up on screen just now, and pardon my voice, let's get up his track record for over the past few years. Let's get up a tab here on Said HAKŠABANOVIC. Can everybody see this okay? I'm hoping we can. I'll zoom in a little bit as my throat struggles. So this has been over the past few years, of course. He moved to West Ham back here in 2017-18 after what was a very decent spell over with Halmstad back in Sweden. He had a really good run as a young player over in the I can't even pronounce it, the Allsvenskan. And his move to West Ham obviously just didn't work out. He did make a few senior appearances. Ever since, though, you know, he's had a steady enough track record. Moving on from there, and of course it's been very difficult to play in Russia with Rubin Kazan. That's not really worked out either. I mean, it's not his fault that Putin decided to fucking invade. But look, listen, he's been trying. He's like, this is probably standout here this season with Norrköping. The standout: 7 goals, 12 assists, and 29 appearances in the 2020 campaign. I feel like that, you know, he certainly is a player who, you know, he worked to that move to West Ham. You know, he didn't just get handed a move to West Ham. He worked for it, and he's been able to show that in the glimpses he's had since then. It's not been his fault that his career's went the way it has. Over his career, there you go, left wing, mainly deployed as a left winger, but the stats aren't bad reading at all. In that area, you're looking at a combined sort of 100 appearances in there with 30 odd goals. Almost 30 assists. I think that's a really good return. I feel like in Scotland, this is the kind of place that he could really blossom into the player that he had the potential to be all those years ago before the move to West Ham. And that's why I was championing him for a move to Celtic all those years ago. I really, really wanted him to sign back in 2017. I was on this channel, mostly because I signed him in Football Manager. I'm not going to lie about that, but I was on this channel 5-6 years ago saying, Said HAKŠABANOVIC, Celtic should go for him. Celtic should sign him. And I never ever thought after he got that move to West Ham that it would ever happen here at Celtic. But obviously, paths have just went in different directions. And now there is a genuine chance that he could become a Celtic player. And it's looking ever so closer to being a Celtic player. So let's have some discussion on this. Let's talk about Said HAKŠABANOVIC. Let's get some of your thoughts. I mean, a lot of people just making comments on the sound of my voice. Xander Trower, I was reading his stats and watched a few videos of him, which he looked quite decent. Could maybe get the best out of him with Ange. I think absolutely. I think he's the kind of player that Ange will. And that's the thing. So here's a question from Adam. Who do you drop him for, though? This is the question that I think as Celtic fans we need to avoid jumping to first. Who gets dropped? That I think is besides the point. What we're doing right now is we're building a unit of players who are good enough to challenge both domestically and win domestically, but also challenge in Europe. We need to add players in depth. We have to add competition to make each other better. We're in a league in Scotland. Well, let's just be quite blunt. Let's be honest. As much as I love Scottish football, I'll always stand up for Scottish football. But we live in a world in a league where the opposition teams can only push our players so far. We can only let Ross County, Kilmarnock, Motherwell, Dundee United, we can only let these teams push us so far. Players can only improve to a certain extent. If you then start to bring in quality players for Jota, for O'Reilly, for Abada to compete against in training every single day of the week, you will get better, you will get hungrier, you will see development in players because they have competition for their place. That is good enough as competition from the rest of the league when you know you're fighting for a place in the squad. So I think there's nothing wrong. We don't need to talk about players being dropped. That's not the question I think that has to come to mind first. listen, if Haksabanovic does sign it, it does ask a very good question in the terms of who is our best three there? Who's our best front three? Or does Haksabanovic get into the cam role? You know, who does come out and in? But that's the beautiful situation Celtic are in just now. We can rotate around. We are prepared. So, I mean, I guess we judge it as it comes. But a very good point here from Sean. Exactly. Look how Greg Taylor stepped up now that Bernabei's in the team. This is the thing. If a signing like Haksabanovic, who's a natural left winger, if he can take Jota to another level by adding competition for his place, how good can Jota get? You know, how hungry can Jota get when he's already as good as he is? So I think that strength and depth is very, very important. Another player ready for Europe, absolutely, I think. What's this? Kevin, if anyone's wondering how we actually pay a Russian club, it won't be the reason it's cut price deal potentially, as we'll clear whatever is outstanding to his previous club. Okay. Very technical. I'm not very financial when it comes to all of this. But yeah, I mean, it's fairly cheap. Fairly easy for us to go and get this done, and fairly easy for us to add another quality member to this squad. We shouldn't turn that down. We should not back that opportunity. I feel like it's one that Celtic should pursue. And that's only one of two names that we are being linked with this week. So that's said, Haksabanovic. We'll have a general Q&A towards the end of the stream as well. I want to hear all your thoughts and points anyway. Has TSF passed away? No, it hasn't. It just seems it can't survive without me. I thought they would have done something while I was away, but we'll need to wait and see when the wheels are back in motion this week. I've not had a phone to communicate with them. I don't have WhatsApp. We have a WhatsApp chat. Can't get any WhatsApp. So, at first we were meant to pull out of negotiations because of issues with Rubin Kazan. Makes me optimistic that we reignited interest. It looks like it. Well, but the most recent reports is he's pushing for the move to Celtic. It will be for a cut price below the $5.5 million that was originally paid by Rubin Kazan. He's knocked back 4 clubs apparently as well to play for Celtic. I think that this move is looking ever so closer to done, to say the least. They have accepted defeat from Scott Burns, who reported. They've accepted defeat in their bid to retain him. It looks as though he will move on, and Celtic are the ones who are expected to sign him on a permanent contract. So if all things go right, then it looks as though Sead Haksabanovic is going to be a Celtic player very, very soon. And I could not be happier, to say the least. But yeah, what's this? Great to see you back, pal. You've had your trip to Europe. Hope your next trip is Milan. Forgot, bring that team of yours with you. Giancarlo. Thank you, Giancarlo. Sadly, my next trip is actually in 2 weeks back to Mallorca. I'm away again in 2 weeks. I'm back for 2 weeks and I'm away. But it's a working holiday, that one. Hopefully I'll be in Milan soon. I'm hoping that we get to San Siro. So we're going to talk about the next one. I'm seeing a few people talk about the guy from Split. So listen, let's talk into the next story, because as I said, we have missed a lot while I have been away. So let's talk about the guy from Split. Let's talk about that. Yanni Atanasov is the name. He is on Celtic's transfer radar, with apparently Hajduk Split willing to sell. It looks as though he could, and this is once again, let's throw out the word reported. That's a good one. I enjoyed that, Sean. The guy from Split, James McAvoy. Yeah, I signed him up. Done a windfall draw a couple of weeks ago. Apparently he's up for sale. Celtic are interested and have reportedly joined the race to maybe sign him for a few teams who are interested. We're looking for a defensive midfielder, as we all know. Defensive midfielder is probably the area that I think most fans want to see improved on. They want to see recruitment in. And apparently, Hajduk Split are willing to sell the defensive midfielder for the right price. There hasn't been a formal bid as of yet. To what we understand right now, I don't think there hasn't been a formal bid made yet. I'd imagine it's one that's very quietly being dealt with in the background until more news comes out. Now, this is all being reported from Croatia. You know, that this has all been picked up. I think it was a Croatian outlet who started this whole thing. But any sort of link with a central defensive midfielder is good for me right now. I just want Celtic to make sure we go out and find a central defensive midfielder. I think that's one of the most important things. Now, let's once again get up my help. Let's get up my tool. How do I share screen again? Let's get up Yanni here. Yanni Atanasov, I believe, is the name. This is his transfer market profile. We'll have a look at his kind of stats, his minutes, and all the rest of it. Of course, defensive midfielder. He's spent the last couple of seasons with Hajduk Split. Before that, he was with Bursaspor in Turkey. But he's a well kind of kitted out player for being only 22. Once again, we're following in and around this sort of age group, aren't we? We're trying to sign players who are ready made for the first team. They're ready made. They're going to come in, and they're going to be ready to play first team football. But also, they're going to have an opportunity to blossom and develop into a player that we could perhaps make money on in the future. North Macedonia, he's made one international appearance for North Macedonia at this moment in time. But there you go. That's kind of the stats, the reading there. It's with a defensive midfielder, you're not going to get what you want through goals and assists. You need to read a bit deeper if you want to find your interceptions and your sort of pass percentages and stuff like that. You're going to have to read a little bit deeper. You don't want just goals and assists. But, look, he's for a guy who's played in defensive midfielder to contribute 13 goals throughout his senior career at the age of 22. He's a guy who can find the net as well. So that's always a positive to it. But I think the point I tried to touch on earlier, the fact we're being linked with a defensive midfielder and the fact that Celtic's name has been floated in and around with your man here, Yanni Atanasov, I think it's a very positive telltale sign that we are in the market for a defensive midfielder now after being quiet for a little while. Rangers have got a penalty. Oh, gee. Surprise. I wear Sarah Black when you fucking need her. But Hadjic split, a decent level of player. And we need to wait to see more about it. I think, a very good point here from Park Ensemble, which I've seen, we could be interested, we aren't interested. The accuracy around this one doesn't seem as, full on as what the Haksabanovic stuff does at the moment. It doesn't really, I don't think it really has as much substance to it right now. It is just new though. This has only came out in the past sort of day. So we'll just need to wait and see. But hopefully there is something to it. I really do want us to get a central defensive midfielder through the door. And it could be Yanni Atanasov. So we'll wait and see what happens with that. Right, a couple of other things with the Hearts preview, just very quickly. Tommy McIntyre has left Celtic. Quite a shame, actually. I like Tommy McIntyre. I spoke to him a couple of times in the fan media press conferences. Always was a nice guy. He is left after 12 years with the club. A statement on the club website was out, and it said, there was going to be a restructuring, I think, or within the Celtic B team and the coaching there. But he's been replaced by Stephen McManus, I think. I'm not too sure as of yet, but he's gone. Tommy McIntyre has left. After 12-13 years at the club. Of course, last season with the B team done a decent enough job. Gone now. So we'll wait and see what happens with all of that. Yes. Brilliant. Thank you, Tommy, for your services. A long time at the club. You've got to miss seeing his name in Football Manager. That's how I always remember Tommy. Seeing his name when you go in. You look in the staff section. He was always there straight away. And then finally, before we go into some just general conversation, I see Rangers have just scored a penalty. But as I say, Lewis, as I say every window, as we talk about Yanni Atanasov, every window we'll talk about 100 players, we'll sign 10. Maybe not even 10. That's the beauty of Celtic's transfer windows. Any team's transfer windows, I suppose. It's the same with everyone. You get linked with players left, right, centre. But Celtic more than ever, all it takes is, we live in a world now where social media, you can start anything. And it's easy enough for an agent or a journalist or anywhere abroad to try and spark some interest in somebody to say, I think we're interested. Never were. So, you've just got to keep your wits about you until things become... the big difference with Haksabanovic is the substance is there. That looks to be very close to being done. Whereas Atanasov is just something that's popped up in Croatia for now, so we'll wait and see. You've just got to be patient with it. Okay, right, preview for the Hearts game tomorrow. 3 o'clock kickoff. Tough game, of course. Hearts, very good season last year, finishing third in the table, the best of the rest by quite a margin as well. And a team who are known to have caused hiccups to Celtic in the past. But listen, last year, you look over the 5 games that we played Hearts in, Celtic won 4 of them. Won 4, we of course lost that first one back at Tynecastle on the opening game of the season, but after that, 3-2 win at Celtic Park, 1-0 win at Celtic Park, 2-1 win at Tynecastle, and then we ended off strongly with that 4-1 win against Hearts in the split last season. Hearts off the back, of course, of a European disappointment midweek, a 2-1 loss to Zurich that's still got all to play for. And listen, of course, they will be keeping this game against Celtic in their heads very strongly. They'll be thinking that this is a big game for them. Of course, they're not going to take anything light, but in their head, I think that Thursday will be the main priority. They've got to try and overcome that loss at Tynecastle, but nonetheless, it doesn't mean that Celtic look over them and look by this as an easy game. The advantage is it's at Celtic Park, of course. We can play our game, we know what to do. And if we take any of that form from what we had against Kilmarnock, we'll win the game. We will, because we were outstanding against Kilmarnock. We were unbelievable. It's one of the best performances I've seen in quite a while from Celtic. So I think that, it's only fair to say that we are the favourites right now at this moment in time. So team prediction, score prediction, so we could get a Q&A. There's not much else to talk about in terms of the Hearts game, is there? I mean, I think that we are looking fine in terms of fitness issues. We know that Carl Starfelt's back. He came back and scored. I think Rio Hatate could be back. Not entirely sure, but I think his name will be in and about the squad. Listen, I think the Hearts are just about the same as well. I think they're in a situation where they don't have too much to worry about. If you're wondering the Hearts form, by the way, they're undefeated as well in the league right now. They've won 2, drawn 1. Let's get into my team prediction. I think the in goals will be Joe Hart, of course, back 4. Do you know what? I think the team will probably remain the exact same as last week. Once again, there you go. I think it will be. I think it will be Hart, Juranovic, Vickers, Jens. Yes, I do think it will be Jens, not Starfelt. I think Starfelt will get back into the starting 11, but not yet. Jens, Taylor, Turnbull, McGregor, O'Reilly, Jota, Maida, and Kyogo. That is my prediction for the team. I just think, he's sticking to his gut. That's the thing. It's hard to predict with Ange. I think when you think you know him, he's like, no, you don't. You don't know me, and he'll change something. We'll see fucking Giakoumakis start tomorrow. But I think just in general, the team is working really well at the moment. They played fantastic last week. He knows that he can rotate very easily throughout the game with the 5 substitutions. I think that we're in a very, very good position. So I think that will be the team for tomorrow. And my prediction, I think I'm going to go for 3-0 Celtic. Yes. 3-0. 3 goals to 0 against Hearts. The Jam Tarts, the Homer and Barts, the Watty Farts. Right, okay. Let's take some of your questions then. It's nice to catch up. It's nice to be back. Not really. I'm actually very sad to be back. How long until Moy is fully fit, Ryan? That's a question for Ange and not me. I sadly don't get to see him on the training ground every week. I'd imagine, hopefully, by the end of this month, we get to see a fully fit Aaron Moy. But, he's had a tough couple of years playing over in China and the whole situation. It's not going to be easy for him to be at the level that the rest of the team are at just now. But I certainly do think he'll get there. He's a professional. He's played the Premier League. He was very fit in the Premier League as well. He will get to that level, and hopefully by the end of this month, we will see that. What's happened to my phone? Did I get it back? No, I did not get it back. I'm going to have to go and buy a new one after this stream. That's my first port of call, to get up to O2 and buy a new phone after this, sadly. It's not coming back. It's well gone. It's well gone. I have been, and I'm doing bloody brilliant, mate. I'm in the top 50,000 right now worldwide. I'm in the top 1,300 in Scotland. I'm having a flyer. I wish I was doing it in my second channel, because I am having a flyer right now. Top 1,300 in Scotland. Brilliant. Top 50,000 worldwide. I can't believe it. It's going to fucking go to shit this weekend. But yeah, I'm all doing it. I'm excited. Look, listen, that's one thing we're going to talk about. The Champions League draw. Big week. We're going to be building up to it all week in the channel. And as always, as I do every single year, whether it be Europa League, Champions League, fucking N-Power League 1 doesn't even exist anymore. Whether it be the Champions League or not, as always every year, I'll be doing a live stream for the draw, and it's Thursday, isn't it? It's Thursday, I think. Thursday or Friday, whatever day it is, I'll be doing a live stream. We'll be reacting live. Hopefully I can get one of the boys from the podcast to come on and join me, so we can have some discussion. And we can have a bit of a laugh with it. But the stream will be there. I'm buzzing. I'm absolutely buzzing. I don't want us to get a grip of death, but I don't really care. I'm just buzzing to get in there. Just absolutely buzzing. Have I got a code for the league? There is a 118 league. I can't get the code right now, but I'll try and put it on my Twitter or something if you're interested. There is a 118 league. There are people in it, so maybe someone has it. Do you think the Hearts could come out and try and get something out of the game, or sit back? I think, judging off Robbie Nielsen's visits to Celtic Park last season, I don't think they'll sit back. I also don't think that they'll be, proper going for it. I think it's somewhere in the middle with Robbie Nielsen and Hearts. It's not that 10 behind the ball nonsense, I feel like. But it depends how the game starts. That's the thing. If Celtic go out and get a really early goal, which is great for us, I'm not complaining. If they go out and get a really early goal, then I think suddenly Robbie Nielsen has to change at that point, and then maybe they do go a little bit like 10 behind the back. You're 10 behind the ball. You know, I feel like that's very easily done. So I think the start to the game will be, sort of very important, and to realising how the game goes for both sides. So we'll wait and see. Would you take? Oh, we've spoken about. I think we're gone beyond Solbakken. I would have loved him, but give me Haksabanovic before Solbakken, please. I'm going to be getting Haksabanovic in the back of my fucking shirt. That's the plan, Noah. That's the plan. Green iPhone 13 Pro Max. That's what I'm looking for. Considering the last one was blue, we need to rectify that. I've not done one yet. I was actually thinking about doing that for my video on Monday, maybe, or Tuesday, or Wednesday, or before the draw. I was thinking about doing a simulator draw and just talk about the Champions League in general. So we'll wait and see. I'm hoping that we can get a decent draw and fuck the simulator draws for a moment. I had a great holiday, thank you. Thank you if you think I'm looking fresh. I don't sound fresh. Do you know what? I actually feel really fresh. It doesn't sound like I do. My throat is gone, my voice is gone. But I actually feel great. Like, you're boozing 6 nights heavily in a row, and I thought I'd be coming back in a coffin, to be quite honest, with a tricolour draped over the box. But no, I'm actually feeling great. I'm really refreshed. I feel like I really needed the break. So it's good to be back. Kareem, wait till the new FIFA's out. Wait till the new FIFA's out, and we'll try and get something sorted. That's the reason I patched ass. I was like, this game is dead. That's why I patched. I was like, this game is dead. So hopefully a new game. Every morning. Every single morning. You wouldn't be doing it right if you don't. That's the thing, boy. That's a great thing about these holidays. You wake up absolutely rat-arsed. You jump in that pool. It's like the fountain of youth. You're fucking fine. You're ready to go again. This is brilliant. I think I went into the holiday because we haven't done a holiday like that in 3 years. Because of COVID and all the rest of it. We waited 3 years to get a holiday like that again. And I was like, I'm not going to be the same as I was 3 years ago. I can't hack it anymore. I can't booze 2 days in a row back here. Bang, that was brand new. It's that pool. I'm telling you, it's a fucking pool. You thought I got locked. What do you take me for, James? Really, what do you take me for? What did I go locked up for? I'm a well-behaved boy. Thank you very much. But yeah, Champions League draw this week is very, very exciting. I'm very excited for that. So we'll wait and see what happens. Need to get the Ryan 118 CSA meetup going at the Vegas convention this summer, I reckon. Christ. I'd love that. What do you think of that? The 118 meet up at the Vegas convention. I've never been to Vegas. I've only been to America once. I've been to Orlando. But I've never been as far as to get your whole maybe off Callum. Well, Callum can reveal all. Callum can reveal all on the podcast, the next podcast. Hail. Yeah, I think, how many trophies do you think we'll get this season? All I'm saying is get your plane tickets ready to Seville. Is the final in Seville again? It can't be fucking Seville. No, it's no. Champions League's Istanbul, isn't it? Where's the Europa League final? It can't be Seville again. Europa League final 2023 is in Puskás, Hungary. Aye. Budapest. That'd be class here, by the way. What a final destination that would be. In the Europa League final, Budapest. Oh, that would be absolutely tremendous. Yes. Love that. Right. Okay, 173. We spoke about everything, I think. So thank you all. I'm glad to be back. We will be back tomorrow. Oh. If you remember, I got a creative and digital media course at college. On yourself, son. Love that. Love that. No, best of luck with it, mate. Enjoy it. Enjoy college, because college was 2 of the best years of my life. I loved college. But yeah, thank you all. Appreciate you all coming out for my return today. I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to be back on the grid. Hopefully I'll be fully on the grid with a new phone today as well. And we'll be back tomorrow for the match review against Hearts tomorrow night. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, it's weird being back. It's like a learning curve again, isn't it? So yeah, thank you all for watching. Like and subscribe.